G'day subscribers and welcome to FJ Holden Jive, talking you with Jules Knight. Today we're going to talk about the B's and C's. As far as the B is concerned, well, I'd like to talk about brakes. Now, it doesn't matter how good your motor is or how smoky it is, as long as it goes, you're safe. If it stops or it won't start, well, you're still safe. Your gearbox, well, it can be great, it can be new old stock, it could be refurbished, or it could have a clunky synchro going into second gear. So long as it just keeps moving, well, that gets you home and that's perfectly fine. But the most important part, in my opinion, on a car is the brakes. Now, when I first got my FJ in 1981 on Christmas Eve, I was told the brakes had been done, the gearbox had been done, and also the engine had been done. Easter Sunday, the timing gear failed. So I had to put a new timing gear on it by myself. Shortly after that, the brakes failed. So Emil totally overhauled my brakes and gave me brand new brakes. And then shortly after that, by September, I was finding that the engine and gearbox were just bad beyond belief and needed certainly attention. So that's what happened with that poor little car that supposedly had everything done to it. Now, I realised then, having to drive a car from Mount Gravatt to Paddington with very limited, if any, brakes, they are the most important part of a car, because if you can't stop, you've got a real problem. So, look, although the FJ Holden standard braking system can be very effective, there's a few things on it that could have been improved from back in the day. I'm not going to change them myself. However, what I've found is, I formed some opinions along the way. Now, at the All Holden Day, I was talking to subscribers about this little can that you could get from Holden, and it would take the lid off the master cylinder, and you would swap it around with this new one. Now, this line was plumbed in, so this would be filled up with brake fluid, and it would actually go down and fill up the brake cylinder, the master cylinder. Now, the master cylinder is this pesky little piece of tin. I've got an old one off the shelf, and I realise it's farm fresh and all those sort of things, and that's perfectly fine, and you have to have a special spanner to get it off. But this is what it looks like. Now, to overhaul it, they'll clean all this, they'll sweat the solder off it so that they're actually doing all the refurbishing through here. This is just a tank. So they will re-kit this, new plunger and whatever else, and then, boot on the end. And in the end, after that's been sandblasted and cadmiumed, they will actually machine this out and put a new stainless steel sleeve in there, and I'll get it back as good as new. Now, the hard part is, these days, getting those lids. Now, with mine, I've actually got a lid, but I don't have the little metal piece on top, so we're going to make that. Any good restorer can do that sort of thing, and I'm thinking, a piece of fashion bronze rod would do that just perfectly, and that would certainly fit. So that's the filler position, and also the master cylinder, and you can see what it's like. I think I bought that for $60, just to sort of give you a bit of an idea on value, and I thought that was really cheap, and I thought it's good to have it as a spare, because that way I can have that one refurbished and then swap it out with my own. Now, that's fine for that. Now, as far as brakes are concerned, they're obviously all hydraulic, and this is what the brake cylinders look like. Now, I realise some of our subscribers are experts and other subscribers are just learning. So if you can just bear with me, I'm trying to help the uninitiated. Now, in this instance, these are going to be bolted to the backing plate, and then you've got brakes either side. But what I'll do with these is I'll put these into either Slacks Creek brakes or BSS at Catalogue, and I'll have these. They'll actually skim that out and slip a new stainless steel sleeve in there. I went and saw the people at Slacks Creek, and the bloke there from the recommendation of Rusty was very good, and I quite liked him. And he said, look, just give us your stuff, Jules. We'll sandblast it. We'll bright zinc it or cadmium plate it for you on site, and we'll re-kit it and give it all back to you brand new. And I thought, well, that's terrific. Now, that's what a brake cylinder looks like. Now, this is a new old stock one. So in this instance, you can see, they've got the pistons turned in there and so on, but that's what it looks like. You've got the bleeding nipples on the end. You've got where the hose goes into. You've got where it attaches to the backing plate here and here. That's obviously your hose. You bleed it from there when you've got someone pushing the brakes up top in the driving position. And here are as you can see, that one's sort of sticking out a little bit. These little pistons that push out, and they're trying to push out, and with your brake shoes, they actually push the brake shoes out, which go against the brake drum and actually slow the drum down and obviously slow the car down. And you're obviously too using, the brake adjuster on the side for when they're all being assembled, for the brake shoe to go into that keyway slot there, and that's part of the mechanism for how you adjust the brakes, and then this obviously gets pushed out during the course of the brake operation for the hydraulic brake. So really that's how the brakes part work. But as I mentioned, they are the most important part on any car. It doesn't matter whether it's an FJ or whether it's a Ferrari. It makes no difference whatsoever. If you can't stop, it's a danger to you. It's a danger to the people in your car, and obviously a danger to other folks around you. So from that perspective, I think the most important aspect of a car. So it's a safety issue. It's full stop. It's a safety issue. Now, in keeping with the B tradition, one of the things that I've got here is a Sahara blind. Now, this isn't, it's old stock, obviously, and you could get these for your sedan or for ute or whatever, and they've got a bit of, I don't know whether you can see that movie or not, but it's a little bit telescopic. But these would go over the side of your doors, like, for instance, if you're parked somewhere by the river or in a park watching the cricket or whatever from your car, that could be attached to the side of the door. They just slip over the top, and there you go, just a little bit more shade. So if you've got the shade of your sun visor, sun visor at the front, you've got the Sahara blind at the side, well, that's perfect. So I've on NASCO Bay on our Facebook page, I've posted an advert for these from back in the day, so people can see that they were a genuine item. But also, I think Paul Quigley was saying, one of our members, that you could also get them in Adelaide as well, and he talked of a place down there too that actually made them. But when you look at it, it's 1956 manufacture. It's got stamps on it for 1956. But the thing is, in the year 2020, I mean, we're talking about things being, very delicate. And when I say delicate, I'm meaning, they're starting to go quite thin. They'll be lucky to stay together, really. So in this case, that to me looks like caravan annex type of material. So if I was going to recreate that and do whatever I need to do as far as the restoration process is concerned, I'd go to a caravan annex place. I'd just get a small piece of material for each side, because I've got a couple of these, and I would just put them together like that and just give them to the trimmer and say, look, can you sew a seam here, sew a seam there, and just put a nice new frill along the side. So in that instance, that really would refurbish that article, that accessory, and also I would take the time to paint the frame and things like that, giving it a good sand or running it over with the Joss wheel or whatever. But it would come out pretty good. Now, as far as the B's and C's are concerned, the C's that I wanted to talk about were the catalogues. Now, I wanted to give you a bit of an idea. I've gotten recently, and I'll just try and take it out of its little packet, a NASCO catalogue on lamps. There's the lamps catalogue. Now, as far as value is concerned, that was probably about $25-30, just to give you an idea on that. And that's got sort of everything from back in the day on there, all the way from light bulbs to blinker lights to truck lights to stopping lights to spotlights to you name it. It's sort of got it, and also all of the accessory numbers, and whether it be 6 volt or 12 volt. So that's in that instance, that's great. So that's the electrical lamp catalogue, the accessory lights catalogue. I've also gotten the Wybrock catalogue, because you find a lot of the Wybrock accessories in that one. So that's this one there. I paid about $40 for this. As far as I was concerned, it was really, really good. I mean, that's just flipping to one random page that's got the horn ring on it and also the number plate frame. Now, we know that you could pick that up from NASCO, and that's telling me that that Wybrock made them for NASCO and also sold them for themselves, the number plate frame. But there's lots of also really good stuff that's in that little catalogue as well, as far as mirrors are concerned, because we also know that Wybrock made mirrors for NASCO, and also the exhaust deflection as well. So that catalogue, $35-40. Now, I think I had to, from a photocopy perspective, this one was about $25 to get this, because I know the originals. Now, this is the specification for the car, for the sedan, and you get a specification for a ute, specification for a panel van, and it's got all of the technical detail in there on the car. But as far as the real McCoy is concerned, this is what the original looks like for the panel van. I had all 5 of them at one stage, but I bought this one back, and this was over $150 to buy. So as far as that's concerned, this is it is starting to get expensive. However, where on earth are you going to get a specification for a Holden panel van? I mean, it's pretty rare within itself, and it will give you all of the technical information and detail on the FJ panel van. So that's that type of catalogue. And as far as value is concerned, I've got about 3 of these. I've got the white edition, and also 2 of these are black master parts catalogues. So this has got obviously the 48 series and also the FJ series. These are worth their weight in gold, but you'll pick these up in a pristine condition like that, $200. So really lovely book, but that's giving you an idea about the worth of the B's and the C's. I know the Sahara blinds weren't cheap. They were pretty expensive. I'm thinking $150 to $200 for 3. So they had to come from Perth. So you never know where you're going to get things, and sometimes you just have to be a good picker and grab it when the opportunity arises. So that just gives you a bit of an idea about brakes, the components for the braking system, and also some catalogues for the lights, obviously for Wybrock, the specifications for a sedan, the worth of the panel van specifications, and also the good old master parts catalogue, and what you might pay for a pristine copy. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed Jive Talking for today. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, but more importantly, enjoy your Holden.